We are live on Instagram and on Facebook at the same time. And we're going to talk about really something deep. And on Instagram, we can't do anything private. So I'm happy that this will only stay up for 24 hours. Because we're going to talk about sex.
Yeah.
And if you haven't talked about sex, there's an issue. And so I'm going to say this at the very beginning. While we're live, if you have any questions, we will answer them no matter how weird they get.
Because we may get weird.
Because
it's probably good.
Yeah, because we've been fighting all day.
We kind of have.
Yeah.
We've been like touchy with each other. And I think there's something to literally being together 24 hours a day where we're like, I can't see you anymore. I just cannot see your face anymore.
Rats kill each other.
You did. That's what you said. You're
together
like,
24 hours a day. Someone in my house is going to die if I don't leave. Somebody give me a place to stay. So
we're going to talk about
we're going to solve that problem by having sex. No. But we're going to solve that problem by talking about sex, and then I may sleep down here tonight while she sleeps upstairs just so that we can have some space, because space is good.
And I really
Most of you have space because one of you or both of you go to work, and then you come back together and you're like, oh, I missed you all day. But when you're like this 24 hours a day, you have to come up with creative ways to have space. So
okay, that's not what we're talking about though today, but that
space.
Was kind of a little because we've been like at each other all day.
Yeah, so if you catch anything, it's because we haven't had sex in 10 minutes. But you know.
Oh my goodness.
So I wanted to do this review. Here's a really good review on sex in your household and the things that you should have.
Which we did a longer one, so this is just like a little snippet review. There's a longer one
in your
a few
nightstands.
weeks ago.
Things you should have in your nightstands. So I will say it this way. You should have sex toys in your nightstands.
If you want them.
Nope, you should have them in your nightstand.
If you want them.
Have them in your nightstand, and this is how this works.
You don't have kids that are getting into your nightstand.
Child lock. She has sex toys for him, and he has sex toys for her on each other's nightstand.
On a display. Okay, we got a lot to get through. Let's keep going. You need a towel.
And you need
really
lube.
Good things. Lube,
Condoms.
towel, condoms if you need it. Different kinds of lube. Like silicone lube is really good for the shower, for hot tubs, for bathtubs, whatever, for the water.
Bum sex.
Yep, that kind of stuff. So that's a little bit of a review. Some good things to have there. A blanket, maybe a blanket that you lay down just specifically for that, because bodily fluids,
Because of bodily
fluids, they just get places.
Little throw blankets are awesome because you could just throw them in the wash along with the towel.
Yep, that's really, really good. So
sex toy sanitizer if you don't have any.
Sex needs prep, and we've talked about that a little bit before. Men, they're like a microwave.
We've lost a viewer. You're talking about sex? Bye. All right.
Men are like microwaves. Women are like crock pots. Sometimes we need all day to prepare the things.
Tell me about it.
Yep. The kids need to be taken care of. Everything with my work needs to be off my plate. I need to be in the right mood, the right frame of mind, really to get in like, okay, everything is great, and I'm ready for that now. Men are like, you want to have sex? Here, I'm naked. Boom, let's go. But yet they still kind of have to get in the mood too. We can kind of have sex regardless.
You were talking about mood. I was talking about actual physical prep. All right. So the mood.
Gotta be quick because we have a lot to go over.
Crockpot all day long. How you doing? Sexy text messages. If she likes a penis shot. Anyways. If he likes maybe some naked shots,
gotta be careful with that.
Sexting, yeah. Obviously, do not put it on Facebook.
Right.
Because nobody wants to see, oh, your boobs are looking great today. No.
Nobody wants to see that.
Be smart. Anyways, so I like cleanliness.
Everybody
is a thing.
should be cleanliness.
A thing.
So,
and sex cleanliness is a big thing.
Yes, it is.
So
especially if you want to go different places with your mouth.
Wow.
Be clean.
So we, at Costco, we purchased the flushable wipes. And those are perfect for a quick spit bath, we call them.
Yeah.
And then that way you can just kind of move forward and know that you're clean. Especially because it's sweat and it's gross and you make sure that you're clean.
You've gone to the bathroom throughout the day. You need to be clean.
Yeah. Be clean.
Yeah.
So have some of those around. Flushable wipes are perfect for that.
In the nightstand.
There are other wipes that are great for that. Wipes are good for everything.
They are. They're really good. And if you've ever been a mom, you know that wipes are not just for babies. Yeah, we will use wipes forever for like the end of time. So, talk about and some other stuff. We're going to go right through this.
We have notes.
Sex on your period. Let's talk about that.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? Here's the thing.
That could just be a thing.
You know, this is why this is on the private group.
Yeah.
There's no holes barred.
Right.
We're just laying it all out.
All right.
Think of it this way. If your wife or if you are still menstruating, that's, 4 to 7 days out of the month. That's like a quarter of your life.
That you're not having sex.
That you're not being intimate.
I know.
I'm not saying you need to go all in bloody soldiers kind of,
Wow, just
that's what we used to call it.
Boom.
That's what we used to call it, plain bloody soldiers. We did.
Wow.
That's what we call it. I don't know. Kids probably call it something different now because we're old.
Period sex.
So,
is what they call
period
it.
sex. But,
there are reasons.
I don't think you should not be intimate. That's the 25% of your marriage you are not being intimate. When you think of it that way, that's like 4 months out of 3 or 4 months out of the year you're not being intimate with your spouse.
And so I'm actually gonna get a little nitty gritty, probably a little.
Hey, we're already there.
Too honest. She, my lovely, beautiful wife that I appreciate and love very much, and she's smoking hot.
Oh, great.
She on her weeks that Aunt Flo comes to town, she has heavy and then light, and so we've been married long enough that we kind of figured out that hey, after 3 days she's kind of light. So that's usually when we'll have sex, when she's on her period. And so I'm assuming that most women are kind of that way.
Not necessarily. Women are all over the place.
I know. But you may kind of have that natural flow. It's just weird to see this on two screens at the same time. You may have that to where you have heavy and then light days. And then track that. And then the next month go, yeah, usually about the third or fourth day I'm kind of light. So that would be the day that you would do things.
But also sex on your period could be painful. So this might be just a time you do other things. Maybe there's manual stimulation, mutual masturbation. If
oral.
There's, oral on him and doing
don't do
that. I think we need to draw the line. I'm not even going to go any further into that. But I think we need to not stop being intimate during that time. Whether it's just lovey play and cuddling and snuggling and being touchy with each other, or full on sex, if that's okay with you. Talk about those things.
Yeah.
Ask your husband, how do you feel about that? There's some men that are like, no bodily fluids, except for their own, of course. Yeah. And then some women are like, no, it's painful. Other women are like, I am actually hornier on my period.
I have better orgasms. Statistically, that's usually the case.
It is for a lot of women.
That's why we kind of say that.
Talk about that.
Talk about it. Try it.
Get the
shower is great.
Shower at night, darkness. It's all wet anyway. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I can't believe you're surprised about me.
It's all wet. No, I'm just dying from your... Never mind. Anyways.
Wow.
But it is. And so
right.
It is.
We're going to talk about one more thing.
It is a conversation to have.
It is.
And you should have that conversation along with other conversations that you should have, such as fantasies. Hey, I have a fantasy that you dress up as a hot maid and you come and service me. Have that fantasy. You know what I mean?
But
I fantasize of you being a police officer and I just got a weighted vest for Christmas, so you're going to wear that to bed. Fantasize. And a gun and a taser.
But I think it's perfectly fine to do that as long as you're not fantasizing about other people, you're not bringing other people in, you're not bringing pornography in. Perfectly fine. I mean, if you want to be all, biblical about it, pretend like you're Solomon and his little wife.
And go through the book of Solomon and do all the things that they did.
But you know what I mean?
Talking about oral sex, all of the types of sex. Solomon did it, man.
He did. You know what? And God created it. I just believe that it is private between the two of you, and you guys do whatever you want to do that you feel comfortable with. But if you don't feel comfortable, share that as well. Babe, I know you really love this, but I don't feel comfortable with this. What else could we do?
Those nipple clamps are hurting.
That's going to lead into our biggest topic here that I've kind of been waiting to talk about since we started a creative.
She's wanted to talk about it. I have not.
You have.
I've just requested it.
Are you ready for this?
Are
people ready for this? I'm going to talk about anal sex.
Anal sex. All right.
And that is a very taboo subject. And even the podcast that we listened to for a long time, I asked them, how come you guys never talk about anal sex? And they said, honestly, it's because it's so taboo that we would get too many complaints about it. It's like, wow, how is this not a topic that people are talking? It's sex. It's our bodies. As Tim says, our bodies are each other's playgrounds.
You're
basically.
My playground. Your body is my wonderland, baby.
So I'm not saying it's taboo. Listen, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's taboo. Well, it might be taboo. But I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying it's a conversation between the two of you.
Yes.
That's a serious, deep, long conversation before anything really. You can't just go there one night in the middle of it.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen. I mean, that might be for the woman.
It might happen when she's drunk, but that's not a conversation to have. Or wait, I will say it the other way around. It might happen if he is drunk, and that is not a conversation to have because bum play is mutually acceptable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
and all the guys are like, "What are you talking about?"
No, I'm serious.
Yep. Bum play is mutually acceptable.
It is, because there's a thing of, prostate massage. Men have a prostate that is very erogenous. It's in a very erogenous zone. But let's again go back to the wipes. Let's go back to the cleanliness here, people.
Right.
I'm not saying one way or another. I'm saying talk about it.
Have the conversation.
How do you feel? How do you even start that conversation? Babe, especially if you're newly married. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
And if you might get an immediate, oh my gosh, no, that's gross, because the other person might not know how you feel, so they want to be like, honey,
but actually have the honest conversation.
I don't know. Should we try that? I don't know.
In practicality, because I kind of want to get to practicality.
Right. This is what I'm talking about.
In practicality, cleanliness is a thing.
Absolutely.
It's a big thing, and if you're not clean, bleh. But it's a thing, and this sex act is a slow act. It's not a
wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Nope, it's not a quick. You can't just try it one night.
For either of you,
you can't do. It's really, really slow,
yeah.
And you have to start really, really slow. And so as long as you understand that, and that's why we say silicone lube is important, because your body, that area of your body, does not make any lubrication, and water-based lube actually absolves into your system. So silicone,
and that might be a hard no, and that's okay,
right? And
that's okay, but
right. If it's a hard no, that's fine.
Totally
it's just
fine.
to have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Because from the man's point of view, I bugger about anal sex a lot, and every man that I know bugs their wife about anal sex a lot. But if you never have the conversation, then you're just bugging them about a thing that you're not having. But if you're having an open conversation of just, hey, I would like to try this, and I would like to do it in such a way that you are not in any kind of pain.
Of course not.
And if you are in any kind of pain, we are immediately going to stop.
Absolutely.
And again, I will say that this comes back to both male and female.
Absolutely.
So she can
no
hey,
harm.
I want to give you a prostate massage. And I'm going to be like, I don't even know how I feel about that. And, from my whole point of view, it's like, does that make me gay? What's going on? And so I have to deal with all of that just in having the conversation. And then everything preceding that conversation, if it's okay, I'll try it, then everything after that has to go really slow.
Yeah.
So, you start with a pinky finger and work your way up.
But also, let me be
Not
very
the whole
clear.
hand.
I don't think... Lord.
I said up.
Listen, though. Do not use things that numb that area, because then you may not know if it is painful.
Right.
So there's a lot of things, anal ease, there's a lot of stuff that you should not use in that area that could numb it, because then you may not know if you're in pain. And I do not suggest getting blind drunk to do this by any means.
Oh, no.
You need to be fully aware of what is happening.
Yeah. Or stone.
No.
So.
We're not saying do this. We're not saying do.
We're saying have a conversation. And if in that conversation you want to try it, then we're going to give you some hints on how to try it.
I kind of always wanted to know about that. Well, let's talk about it first.
You can have the same exact conversation about oral sex.
So, exactly. It could be the same conversation about that. It could be a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. But I know that this is such a taboo subject. So I don't want a million emails going, oh my gosh, that's like against God's law, blah, 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 blah. Because you know what? We are each other's bodies. His body is my body, and my body is his body.
Sometimes
and we get to enjoy that. But we get to enjoy each other and do that with mutual respect, loving kindness, gentleness. You never want to harm your partner by any means. If you are getting off harming your partner, you need to think about what's going on. That's a problem. But I think it's just enjoying one another. If there are hard lines, fine. I know a couple that has never had oral sex because that's their hard line. And they're both very satisfied with each other. That's perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. But there are people that like to go a little bit further. I'm not saying harming. I'm not saying pornography. I'm not saying tying each other up and beating each other to death.
Really?
No.
No, not to death.
We're not into snuff films. Good Lord.
Remember to rub with love.
Oh my word! But yeah, right. It is. It's all about communication.
Absolutely. And setting up boundaries and understanding that your sexual boundaries will change throughout the lifetime of your marriage.
Yes.
So, for
that's
example,
huge. What you liked in college, you may not like now.
And what you like now, you might not have liked in college.
Right.
And
right.
So, and
things
I will
can
give
change.
you
As we get older, our hormones change, our bodily fluids change. We might be able to do things we never did before.
And I wanted to give a really good example of that, if that's okay. Real life.
I don't know where you're going with that.
When we started marriage, she didn't really like oral sex. Now she likes oral sex.
On me or on you?
Yeah, on you. There was a shift.
There was a shift
in our marriage.
Right.
So she's like, I didn't really get anything out of it. Now she's like, get back down there. But it's great. So
yes, we have, Michelle. We have done that. We did make it 30 days. We do it every April. We do a 7 days of sex challenge.
Yes.
And this last year we made it 30 days, and that was really fun. But we always love going until you fail. And that's because then you learn.
And that's
something
really
new
the
about
point
each
of
other.
the sex challenge.
Yeah.
And then,
so we'll talk about that in April. We always do that in April every year. The 7 days of sex, 7 days in a row.
So if you have another sex question right now, Michelle, ask it, and we'll answer it because you're the one talking. So.
That's awesome. But no, you're right. It does. It all comes down to communication.
Yeah.
Whatever
of it comes down to communication. And then we talked about trying everything multiple times. Because, for example, you're going to have this anal sex conversation, and you may try it, and then it might not go as well as you hoped or fantasized that it would go. And that
you might feel insulted that he had that conversation with you.
Right. But as you try it, things with your body are different every single time that you try them.
This is true.
And so that's why I say...
And our hormones are different throughout the month.
Right.
too.
That's why I say try everything 3 times, because by the 3rd time you'll go, okay, the first time was uncomfortable because I was scared to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The second time I was more comfortable, and then now I understand what feels good and what doesn't.
Yeah.
The 3rd time, now I'll actually go, all right, I don't like it. This isn't a thing for me.
This is not.
Or you can compromise. Okay, we can go there, but you can only go there with this and not that.
Yeah.
And then that's the compromise, and you guys are both happy.
Yeah.
So, but you won't know that unless you try. And if there's always a hard no just because of fear, then that is an issue that I would challenge you on. Because, again, I give myself fully to her. And I am the oddball in that anything that she says, I want to try it, I'm usually like, I'll give it a shot. Why not? And she's more reserved. So when I want to approach something that she has never done before, then it's more of a conversation.
And even still, 20 years of marriage practically, guys, and he's still like, I kind of want to ask you about something, but I'm really kind of nervous. I don't know how you're going to respond to this. 20 years, and we still have that kind of conversation. And that's okay. And I've learned not to instantly get insulted and like, ew, no, oh my gosh. But I think that's me growing and going, okay, let's dissect that a little bit.
And the reason why is because I have a good track record. About 60% of the time, it's been a success. And that's just by trying.
Trial and error.
One more thing, when trying something new, I wanted to tell you about emotional drop. When you try something new that you have never done before, one of you or both of you will have an entire emotional drop because you are either more vulnerable, you had to take command, you did something emotionally to get you through that. And anal sex is kind of one of those things. Yeah. One person has to be completely relaxed and vulnerable. The other person has to be high in responsiveness and asking if the other person's okay. And then when that whole entire playtime is over, you're both like, oh. But one of you may drop emotionally more than the other one. And you need to communicate, hey, I feel insecure. Yeah. I don't feel good. I need some reassurance.
Just to hold me and love on me.
I need you to hold me. And I'll pick on men, especially on a prostate massage with men. There will be an emotional drop there because then you're going, what is this doing to me?
Yeah.
Right? Other than it was just a pleasurable sex act. So understand that and communicate that. Right. So just know that. And even with fantasies, there might be an emotional drop when there's whips.
Oh my goodness. So we got really in depth with you all this evening. Right. I appreciate your graciousness.
And Michelle did not have any questions.
She had a question. Have you done this 30-day of sex challenge?
Oh, yes. Not fun
question.
That's
awesome. Oh, that's a fun question. Are you kidding me? She's amazing.
All right.
This is awesome. So
We'll talk about the sex challenge, and we'll talk about how we did the sex challenge and the conversation that you should have prior to doing anything, because sex is sex, and you can define it any way you want.
Yeah.
Ooh. But be moral in the Christian sense.
Well, yeah.
Not
you don't
the
want to.
worldly sense.
Right. Just the two of you. Just keep it between the two of you.
Yes, leave out people and animals. You'll be fine.
Well, other people.
Just
right here. Just right here.
Other people and animals. Except for the dog at the end of her bed.
Good Lord. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? How you doing? Can I have a treat? When you're done, can I have a treat? Can I have a treat when you're
or
done?
the cat that just
go
claws you for no reason.
Exactly, or
All
bites me. Okay, we love you guys. Have a date.
Have a date.
Go to getdatebox.com, type in have a marriage 50.
For 50% off of your first date. And they
There we
have
go.
inside dates and outside dates.
Yes. All right.
I've tried
We're all reading the cool stuff. I need to see more on that. So, all right, we love you
All right.
guys. We will see you next, Monday. And if you have any questions, clearly we will pretty much talk about anything. So,
Yeah.
all right, we love you guys. We will see you later.
Later.
Gator.